Tony Khan did his traditional pre-pay-per-view conference call for Forbidden Door this week. And talking all about the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, of course, but there was one question in particular that kind of got into the dirt of Jeff Hardy and Jon Moxley and if there's a wellness policy in AEW or any kind of plan to address this on a broader level. And it kind of set Tony off a little bit. And during the process, Tony kind of also gave an update on Jeff Hardy. So check out this clip.
Jon Moxley recently talked to ESPN about his experience going to rehab for alcohol problems, and with your recent statement coming out about Jeff Hardy's suspension after being arrested for a DUI, have you thought about instituting any kind of wellness policy in AEW given some of the recent occurrences, or is there something in place already that you haven't talked about? I was just wondering if you could shed a little light.
No, we have a wellness policy, but in the case of drinking, I think you have to be really careful, because most people, I think, 99% of the roster has drank really responsibly. And to be honest with you, I think they're totally different things. And I think it's comparing apples and oranges when you mention the two things like they're the same thing. And I think that one person realized, and that's why I handled them completely differently, Sean. And they're completely different things.
PW Insider is up next. Mike will be followed by Brandon Thurston.
Can I go back, Jim? Is that okay? Thanks. Jeff is doing much better. And I think, as I understand, Jeff's in treatment. And I don't want to say too much about what's going on because it's his business. But I'm here for him for whatever he needs. I'm really glad nobody got hurt. But what Jeff did going out and driving is totally different from the other thing. And I just don't like hearing the two of them compared, if that makes sense. And I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't give Jeff a lot of credit for now doing the right thing. And this is how he said, Jeff's got to do the right thing. And if he wants to stay with AEW, because it's last chance saloon, man.
Yeah, you could kind of tell in the tone that Tony Khan was a little bit pissed there. And I don't blame him. I've been able to pick up on that with Tony. He gets into these calls and he gets very excited and he gets all nerdy and geeky and he's having fun. And then somebody asks him a question that irritates him and he just, you can tell by his tone that he's pissy about it, right? And Sean Radican from the Pro Wrestling Torch had, brought up the fact, with Moxley and Jeff Hardy and Tony went off and rightfully so, because inherent in the question was that, or implied in the question at least, was that the Moxley situation and the Hardy situation were the same thing, and they weren't at all. And that really pissed Tony off, and he really went off on it, in the conference call. He addressed it. Matter of fact, I've never seen him, the guy was ready to move on, and Tony's like, actually, can I go back to that and rant on it a little bit more? And in that, he said that this was Jeff Hardy's last chance. That, this is Hardy's last chance to fuck up, and it is. Jeff Hardy and the Moxley situation are two completely different things. Moxley wasn't feeling like a normal human being. He was a high-functioning alcoholic that was about at his breaking point. He wasn't out drinking and driving. He wasn't out being any kind of danger to society. He was just a fucking miserable, puffy-faced, red-faced, balding fuck, right? So Jeff Hardy, completely different. He's out drinking and driving, which was not a first-time situation for him, which makes it worse. This is habit at this point. This wasn't, I made a mistake or whatever. This is just what I do when I get drunk. I go, we're just going to go on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, going to the sky, little Einstein. So, yeah. Rightfully so for Tony Khan to be pissed about comparing the two. He did say that they have a wellness policy. He didn't address exactly what it was or what it covered. Them being a private company and not public, he doesn't have to disclose that. And, you know, we've heard stories of Tony Khan being a weed smoker, so I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. And clearly, just by watching Tony Khan, it's either a ton of coffee or a little bit of, you know, a little powder on the nose. Either way, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's going to be very strict about that kind of stuff. You know, they touched about that too. He's like, I'm not going to be that hard on alcohol. I'm not going to have an alcohol policy because people like to go out and drink after shows, and Tony's probably one of them, right? And most people don't fuck up, so it's not really a thing he wants to enforce. But he does say that he has a wellness policy. I'm sure it's more geared towards rehab and recovery and you know, making sure that people are doing okay, you know, making sure that they're safe and that they're healthy, and not so much punishing people, you know. And Radican from The Torch, when he asked that question, was almost fishing. I think he actually used the word, what kind of punishments or whatever, you know, like, and that kind of mentality, I fuck off with that kind of mentality too, you know. How are we going to punish these people that are fucking up? It's not about that. It's how can we help these people that are fucking up? And I think it's a very distinct, different way of looking at things. And I think Radican at least sounded like he was coming from sort of a righteous place when he was saying that, kind of of an indignant place, like, you know, these drinkers need to be put in their place, you know. And I just don't think that that's a good way to look at it, or a fair way to look at it, you know. So I feel like Tony handled it well, and, you know, he addressed that he handled the two in different ways for a reason. That, you know, Moxley came to him and said, man, I'm at my breaking point. I think I got to go into rehab. As compared to Jeff Hardy, was out drinking and driving and caught drinking and driving for his third time. Doesn't mean that that was his third time drinking and driving. That means that was his third time getting caught drinking and driving. After he was already out lying to everybody, saying he was doing well and that, you know, he didn't have a problem with anything. You know, he was assuring everybody when he left WWE that he was clean and on the right path and all of that. So two-way, completely different things. And I do applaud the way Tony Khan has handled them both. Moxley with care and compassion, and Hardy with stern strictness, you know, a stern tone. This is your last chance. Because it is Hardy's last chance. If he fucks up in any way, shape, or form like that again, he's not going to get to work in this business anymore. He's going to be Jake the Snake. He's going to be the drunk guy out on the indies, fucking barely able to wrestle a match like his match with Sting. So that's kind of where we're heading with that. Props to Tony Khan. And go listen to the whole conference call if you like. A lot of Forbidden Door shit, but there's a lot of other little good tidbits in there and stuff. Because Tony doesn't hold back, you know. Tony doesn't kayfabe much either, you know. He'll kind of tell you where he's going with things, how he's feeling about things, what he's thinking about things. And he does like to shoot like that. So go check that out. Link in the description. And on to the next. Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.